morning when we got back to our meetings, Mike DeBoer, who's our offensive line coach, called us in and said, "Did you guys order a pizza?" And then he was talking about, you better hope that Coach Carl never finds out about this, because we lost. You guys, it wasn't necessarily because of you guys, but we lost as a team, and you guys broke the cardinal sin of ordering outside food, because you didn't do that, especially at that time. I'm not sure what they do now. But on the flip side, an individual one, I was playing with the Washington Redskins and played against San Diego. Sean Merriman was their defensive end, and I was playing well against him, and he, instead of rushing, he dropped into pass protection. So I was going to come back in and help clean up the guard. Instead of coming back in, I stepped on my foot and fell down. There was no one around me. Nothing could have happened other than the fact that I was just out there for everybody to see. It ended up on Sports Center. It ended up on, I was a highlight of so many different sports shows at that time, simply because I stepped on my foot and I fell over like a tree falling in the woods.
What year was this?
That would have been, Sean, I can't remember what year it was with the Redskins. It would have been probably my 4th or 5th year, so around 2003, 2004. It was before they had the, the not top 10.
Right.
And so I didn't make the not top 10.
You would have been, come on, man.
Oh, yeah. And they showed it on the Jumbotron, and we were at home, right? And they showed it on the Jumbotron at home because a buddy of mine was running the board, and he just thought it was hilarious. And so I had to look up and see myself stepping on my foot, and I literally was like a tree falling in the woods. I just felt like, I was stiff as a board, fell on my face, and there was no good way to make that happen, but I made it happen in as bad of a way as possible.
So John is so embarrassed by this still that he actually went away on the Zoom. He couldn't bear to look at us while he was telling us this.
I know.
Hey, when was that 5-0 Purdue game?
The 5-0, that was in 95. That was the year.
I was at that game. I left my house. It was like 65 degrees, and I dressed accordingly. By the time I got to Ann Arbor, it was like sleeting and like 23 degrees. It was ridiculous. I watched most of the game in Chrysler.
I think so I didn't realize you guys scored 8 points combined against Purdue in 2 straight years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And the other thing, so that Purdue game, that I think it was actually 5-3 was the final of that game, which we ended up winning. It was at home, and we were standing on the sidelines back when it was grass. There was this, part of the reason they went to the turf was simply because they had drainage issues. We were standing in 6 inches of water. Big Johnny, our equipment manager, had brought out these bread bags, which I have no idea where he got them. But we were putting our shoes just to try and keep our feet warm. It did nothing for our shoes all weighed about 20 pounds apiece. But that was the most miserable weather game I ever played. And Stoney, you are 100% correct. It was sunny, it rained, it snowed, it was windy, it sleeted. It was everything that you would expect a fall football game in Michigan to be at some point in October. Plus, fun fact, that was the first game that Lloyd Carr was the official head coach at the University of Michigan. He was interim up until that, so we celebrated with a 5-3 victory.
So we were obviously bringing up 2 straight embarrassing games, but in 97, I wanted to just bring this up because you're actually going to be we're going to be airing Michigan Classic games on the ticket at noon, our 11:33 game starting this Saturday for, I think it's 12 consecutive Saturdays. And did you see the list of the games yet?
I have seen, and I know I talked to Eric Anderson yesterday, who was one of the captains of this weekend, which, by the way, is going to be Notre Dame, Michigan, 91 game. I think Stoney already mentioned that earlier. But I had a chance to talk to Eric Anderson, and he was the Butkus Award winner that year. We had Desmond Howard, who was obviously the Heisman Trophy, and that is the game that everybody looks to as one of the most spectacular moments in Michigan football history. That's the catch by Desmond Howard.
Yeah, so farther down the list of the games, they have some fan vote games. And one that I'm hoping you agree with, it's actually, I think, one of your probably best moments in your career. 97, one of the fan votes is the Ohio State game, which was the David Boston, that stuff and all that. And the Penn State game in Happy Valley. To me, it's got to be the Penn State game. That was the game changer that year. You actually winning my favorite game ever because they finally went and just killed somebody that was really good.
On the-
Killed
and-
them.
and on the
Like
road.
I always question like the Colorado blowouts and some of the Notre Dames. That Penn State team was really, really good.
Let's go to Rob and Clausen. John Jansen's one. What's up, Rob?
Hey, me and John had a very good game against Marysville. Our
Playoff game.
State playoff.
What was it? Well, tell us about the game. Were you a teammate of John's, Rob?
Yes, as a teammate. Marysville kicked 5 onside kicks. We did not recover one of them to start the game.
The only time I think on a football field that I have lost my cool, I got a personal foul because I was so mad. I think it was on a kick return. I was blocking somebody. I blocked them out of bounds, blocked them out of the track, and started actually fighting them because I was so frustrated that they were kicking our butts.
John, you know Rob?
I do. Rob Bernerski. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah.
Bud? How's your daughter doing?
Good. They're doing great.
Good to hear from you, bud. And I tell you what, some great memories. at
49
Boston.
Wow.
Yes, it hurt.
Okay. You still turned out on BB in Berkeley texted in at 248-539-9797. Little League. We got mercied by every team we played. Last game of the season, we played the other team that had been getting mercied every game too. They mercied us. Pontiac Cobra beat a team in basketball 107-3 in the Pontiac Rec 7th grade basketball. Can you imagine being on
I can relate to the Little League thing as a coach.
Yeah.
Like last year, we lost 10-0 in 4 innings. You want to mercy, I think the game lasted 35 minutes. I mean, 2 5-run innings for them or whatever, and it was just bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, well, it might be
most embarrassing loss was my senior year of high school basketball at Fordson High in '85. We were 16-4, played Detroit Mackenzie in the first round of districts. They were number 2 in the state behind the great Glenn Rice, Flint Northwestern. We were annihilated 89-30. David Yearby. High school football, we had a scrimmage against our crosstown rival. They kicked our ass 70-0. And we were not in it. We had other things, parentheses, parties to worry about. Coach knew, so he made us run wind sprints in 105-degree heat, full pads until people passed out on the sidelines. We went 9-0 the season, lost in the quarterfinals, so we weren't. I don't think you can do that today.
No.
There'll be firings today. Now, Chris and Hal says during my final high school basketball game, we were down 31-1 midway through the second quarter of our district game, and it wasn't really even that close.
Ouch.
Wow. 97 won the team.
Last year, 97 won the ticket student heart check program detected over 150 student athletes who needed a follow-up with a cardiologist to ensure they have a healthy heart. Make time to have your child checked. Contact the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Brought to you by Power Home Solar. Let's start with the NFL as the Kansas City Chiefs open up defense of their Super Bowl title with a 34-20 win last night over the Houston Texans. In his first ever NFL game, running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire was outstanding. He rumbles for 138 yards and a touchdown, a performance that didn't surprise Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
I thought the offensive line did a great job of giving him holes to run through, and he hit it every single time. And so he's going to keep getting better. It's another weapon that I kind of have in this offense, and we're going to keep doing whatever we can to keep moving the ball and scoring touchdowns.
As for the Lions, a sore hamstring would keep wide receiver Kenny Golladay from practicing yesterday, according to the team's official injury report. His status for Sunday's game will be determined by team officials later today. The Tigers would earn a split of the doubleheader played yesterday in St. Louis, beating the Cardinals in Game 2 6-3 after dropping the opener 12-2. It was a rough outing in Game 1 for rookie Tarek Skubal. He would give up 6 runs in just 2 innings of work. There was just one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Dallas needed overtime to beat Vegas 3-2 in Game 3 of the NHL's Western Conference Finals. Over in the NBA playoffs last night, the Lakers knocked off Houston 110-100 to take a 3-1 lead in that second round series. Officials in Western Michigan announced in a release yesterday, workouts have been suspended indefinitely after 9 athletes across 4 different sports recently tested positive for COVID-19. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
The Ticket. It's a football Friday. Woo! Yeah, baby. Yeah. Although, no Michigan, no Michigan State, no MAC games, whatever. The Lions will take on the Chicago Bears at Ford Field on Sunday. Good morning, everybody. Along with the Gov, Greg Hargrave, Heather Park, John Jensen, Stoney here with you on a nice day. It's supposed to be up to 70. We're going to get back into warm temperatures. And it was a little misty last night in Kansas City. Get to that in a second. What's up, John?
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and I know that we don't have Michigan or Michigan State football, but there is a team, I don't know if you can call it local, that is playing tomorrow.
Okay, I know Lawrence Tech, they didn't cancel football. I think Adrian or one of the A schools.
No, I think they're playing Duke.
Oh, now they're a local team?
But it's as local as we've got. I mean, come on. Who is closer?
As far as
a team that's playing football on college football Saturdays.
Division I? Yeah, I guess Notre Dame probably would be the closest. How far South Bend from here? 4?
Oh, no, it's not that far.
Not that far?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thinking about Pitt. 4.5. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Our closest local team will be taking the field tomorrow, but that's all right. We can move on from that.
Yes, thank you very much. They will be losing a game on our air tomorrow.
They will be. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be on at 11:30. The pregame show starts at 11:30, and Michigan will face Notre Dame in the Wayback Machine 1991 Michigan Football Classics.
Right. Are you really doing a pregame?
Yeah, we're doing a pregame, halftime, postgame.
Wow.
I mean, tune in. Don't miss it. It's must-listen radio.
Cool. You're gonna have like Elvis on and things like that.
We will have Desmond is going to join us, and Eric Anderson. So we've got a Heisman Trophy winner and a Butkus Award winner. Will be stopping by tomorrow.
I can't wait for the pick segment. I'm sorry, Tom, I can't wait for the pick segment. I like Michigan by like 10.
Exactly.
So, John, did you watch that game?
I did watch it.
Do you remember where you were?
No, I don't remember
See,
where I was.
I remember where I was. I mean, it was nothing special. I was at home. We were celebrating my mom's birthday, and when they went for all the marbles on the 4th down, my goodness, I've never seen Michigan do something like that in my life. And I jumped up and went crazy, and that's one of my favorite Musburger calls of all time.
Oh, it was awesome. So wait a second. This is a Michigan broadcast. So you're not having like anybody from Notre Dame on?
Not for this one. There was. Let's see. Who was it? It was.
He was coaching the team, right? That wasn't the Hulk's team, right? Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and actually broke the streak because I think he had 12 or 13 games against Big Ten opponents.
I'll be looking forward to maybe listening to some of that tomorrow. But last night, ladies and gentlemen, we had real football. The National Football League returned, as is tradition. The defending Super Bowl champions usually play, usually host. And it was weird. I mean, seeing the stands, they said what, about 15,000, 16,000 fans were there. They weren't as spread out as I thought they would be. There were a lot of people, bunched together, not all socially distanced or whatever, but everybody seemed to have a good time. There was tailgating going on, and the national anthem deal, the Houston Texans decided that they were going to stay inside for both the regular national anthem and what they call the unofficial black national anthem, Alicia Keys' performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing. So they decided to stay inside because they said they didn't want to throw shade on either anthem if you came out for context as well, is for some people who drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire early, they got paid off pretty well. I mean, he was incredible. 25 carries, 138 yards and a touchdown. Now, what I loved about him, John, and you probably love him as an offensive lineman, you didn't have to have gaping holes for him. Those small little things, maybe little wide receivers, the short guys can get through, and he was really, really good. Obviously, good stats. And it is just one guinea pig, and he looked good. And the other thing I took away from it is that in the future, if it's misty out, Andy Reid needs to have a windshield wiper.
No, oh my goodness. I mean, early on, right, you could see that his breath from the nose down, it was fogging up. And then by the end of the game, you're like, I don't even know how he can see the field.
I don't see his play chart, you know?
Right, yeah. And most of the time, those coaches are trying to hide their mouth anyway, so they've got it so close to their face. But I don't know how he could see anything. It must have been a disaster for that pass.
But, I know we talked up there, was in like 38-17. You're pretty close. I mean, obviously you can't say he had the touchdown taken away from the replay. That was a process call, basically. And then Houston came down and scored. All right, we got a game, and then Kansas City just Mahomes. 24-32, only 211 yards. They didn't throw deep a lot.
Well, when you have a running back go for 138, you don't need
exactly.
You were up big. The Texans couldn't be prepared for that,
Right.
I mean, because they had no idea what he was going to be as a running back, and Collins was pointing out throughout the game that their offensive line was blocking more aggressively than they did last year. So, good for them. They balanced offense. I mean, you can't lean on Mahomes all the time.
No, 7 different guys, I believe, caught balls. I mean, Sammy Watkins was the big guy.